guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. I'm Keith Simons. Sean Lean is with me today. Sean, big Waterford fan, and more news out of Waterford, and we're hoping this is good news actually for a change, Sean. We won't know for a while, but I do reading up on it, etc. It looks a bit more positive than the last couple of owners. Obviously, Waterford FC have a new owner.
Yeah.
Can't even pronounce the name, but we're going for Andy Pilley, yeah?
Pilley.
We've got Pilley.
Yeah.
So we're going for that. But I'll just read the statement first and we pick the bones out of it. And let's just get your thoughts on it, Sean, as well. So Waterford FC released a statement earlier on today, and they just said they're delighted to confirm that Andy Pilley has completed a full takeover of the club. The entrepreneur and vastly experienced football club owner now holds 100% stake in the business, with the investment signaling a new era for the Blues, building on the club's history and successes. With 18 years of club ownership experience, which is crucial, by the way, having led English club Fleetwood Town to 6 promotions from the North West Counties Premier League to EFL League One during his time in charge. That's impressive, to be fair. Investing heavily into the club, he's overseen a 12 million sterling into the club's training ground, built a thriving academy which makes up a large percentage of the COD Army's professional players, and rebuilt their hybrid stadium to what it is today. The deal will also see him become the club's chairman, with Steve Curwood, Fleetwood Town FC CEO, and Jamie Pilley joining the board of directors. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting, isn't it, Sean, for a start? I mean, unlike the last two owners, I suppose, there's a lot of experience here. Like, I've said it there really in the statement there, 18 years of club ownership experience is massive. We'll talk about some of his other little ventures in a moment as well, but, you know, leading Fleetwood Town really to 6 promotions is very impressive, isn't it? And, you know, he obviously brings a bit of investment in the club as well. And, you know, I've often said it's not all about investment, is it? He has talked about this as well, and I'll go into that in a minute as well. But it's not all about investment into the club. It's about building a club, really. And how are you seeing it? What's your initial thoughts as a Waterford FC fan?
Well, positive, first of all. I mean, the statement read very well. When he talked about stability and building a foundation for a club and infrastructure and things like that, he sounds like he's saying all the right things. I hope he follows through on them, but I'd be a bit more optimistic there because, as you said, 18 years is a lot of experience, and it's, you know, taking Fleetwood Town through 6 promotions in the English game, you know, it's not easy. It's probably the most competitive football pyramid in the world. So, very positive, and that seems to be the general mood amongst supporters as well that I've talked to. So, we're all very excited down here, and hopefully, the excitement is well founded.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just go into some of the stuff that he actually says himself. He says, "This is a real honour to have acquired Waterford FC, who I believe remain one of the biggest in Irish football. The opportunity was presented to me last week, and having attended the games against Galway and Cork, I was blown away by the level of support from the fans, the passion of the local people, and the potential is here at the club." Yeah, like you made a good point there. Like, you know, the previous owners, Power and Forrest, who obviously wasn't there very long in the end, but like, it's easy to come out and say things like that. Let's be honest about it. Like, they would have said things like that as well. However, though, he does say, having spent time around the city, the word stability is something which is consistently figured high in supporters' wish lists. Fair enough. So that's something which I feel is going to be hugely important going forward. We want to put a professional infrastructure into Waterford FC, similar to the one we have over here in the UK. Where we've had enormous success. The secret of success here will be the whole city coming together. The football club needs to become aligned with the community, which they haven't been, let's be honest. The supporters, the business community, and the council. For me, this is a long-term investment into club and history. I think that little paragraph there is important, isn't it, Sean? Because you didn't get that vibe, let's say, from Forrest or Power, really. And he is saying the right things, but also, like, you know what I mean? Even you have to say the right things. Even he right. You know what I'm saying? He's it sounds a bit more positive to me. I don't know why, but I think he understands the community. I think it probably is the Fleetwood background, to be honest with you. 18 years experience and all that as well. But he's right, though. The community at Waterford always feel like it didn't align actually with the club, and there was always a detachment there, wasn't there, over the last number of years? And that's nearly more important than whatever they're going to invest or not invest, isn't it? In many ways, really.
Yeah, I think so because, as you said, like it's always felt like there's stuff going on behind the scenes at the club that it's frustrating as a fan to watch because you just wish they'd just say what's going on. Like the fact that Mark Bertram was sacked effectively without anyone knowing why,
Yeah.
and stuff like that as well. And in years past under Lee Power, why weren't players' contracts being renewed? And what happens then is, the rumor mill goes into circulation and the worst case scenario gets assumed. And the club could do a lot, it could save a lot of face if they just were a bit more transparent. I was impressed with the statement, as I said, with particularly his emphasis on stability, because that's where I would have highlighted, the amount of managers and players and even owners at this stage that we've gone through, it's not good for the club. There's obviously the ingredients here that if you got a good owner in and you got the right people in, that you could really have a lot of success. But if you faff about like what's been going on the past number of years here, you're not going to get any success.
Yeah, there's a few more quotes here. This is from the Irish Examiner. He says, I see Waterford as a similar project to Fleetwood as I think that's punching under its weight right now. Waterford is clearly not a small club. Look at the catchment area and population. It can be a club that pulls decent gates in. The organisation, facilities and infrastructure is here and the future is what we make it. It really is. I think it needs controlled growth and then the future will be what will make it. Like that's important, I think. And I always think for any club, controlled growth because it's easy to go into any club. We've seen it with new clubs like a Sporting Thing or whatever, and just throw money here, there, everywhere out, and they're gone. You know what I mean? Not that Waterford would disappear, but you know what I'm saying. Like it does need to be controlled growth, and I think I just get the feeling that he really understands that because he's bloody seen it and he's done it at Fleetwood already. So that's a fact. He's actually done that. And I think that's fairly exciting. Like he's right about the catchment area in Waterford. There's a couple of clubs in the League of Ireland. Waterford are one of them where the potential is there to really pull in the community there. Do you know what I mean? Yes, there's GA and stuff like that, but Waterford City in particular, like you know what I mean. And I think you can really do that, and you can't do it overnight, and that's the point. And I think he'll understand that, and it's something that you feel if Waterford maybe done that a couple of years ago, they'd be further down the road. Like, so that's something that's important, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, and as you said, the supporter base is there, and as Pilley himself has said, like he's seen the supporter base is there. I remember last season we're going to see Waterford play Drogheda. It was his 7th versus 8th in the league, and still nearly sold out the RSC. Nobody was expecting us to win the league or even challenge for Europe or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just expecting to go and see good football. It's not just the city as well, there's towns all across the counties, out in the west in Dungarvan as well. There's a large supporting for Waterford and stuff. There's really a great community spirit that you can get around the club, and even in the past number of years, as bad as things have gotten with the instability surrounding Power and Forest and stuff, I still see people more wearing Waterford FC jerseys than I ever saw wearing Waterford United jerseys around the place. So I think he recognises that.
Yeah, maybe Waterford United were cursed. No, but it's just one more thing here as well. I suppose it says here actually in the Examiner that last year he took ownership of third division outfits in the United Arab Emirates of South Africa, with the word Fleetwood featuring involved with the club names. Now I'm not sure Waterford fans would fancy that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, by the way, but this is a fact so far. While not on the same scale, he likens the strategy to the approach to the template adopted by Man City's Arab backers, the City Group. Any concerns there?
Not really. I don't think Fleetwood are so much bigger than us that we would become a feeder club. If Fleetwood got to the stage where they were a championship or even a Premier League club, that might be a concern.
Well, it might be in terms of it mightn't be a bad thing because you might get better.
Well, yeah, I suppose you'd have stability if that was the case. Yeah,
I can't see him bringing in the word like Fleetwood in water.
No, I think when he talked about that stuff about Waterford being one of the biggest clubs in Ireland and stuff like that, if he is being serious about that, and I think he is because I think he'd done his homework before he'd come over here, then he wouldn't do that.
I think it's easier to do in the United.
Yeah, I think he'd get away with that in places where maybe the football history isn't there.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Any other thoughts on it? Any negatives or positives that you can think of?
Well, I thought that it was interesting that we're part of a network of clubs now. So maybe we could. I was thinking, and I said this on the First Division review show, that maybe we could get players that if Fleetwood are having a look at them, but they're not quite sure. Maybe we get them. We could get a few good players from the UAE or South Africa out of this. I thought that was an interesting positive there. The one negative, I suppose, I would say, and this is something that's been talked about before, but the court cases against them. I can't remember exactly what the charges are, but it's something along the lines of fraud or falsifying accounts or something like that. And that's a concern, but I mean, we've dealt with shady characters before.
What it is there is that we know the issues Waterford have had over the years with many stuff, let's be honest. And I think when I seen the story first breaking a few days ago, that was the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, where are they at now? Literally,
Yeah.
you're thinking that and you're thinking Waterford and you're going, oh my God. But I'm glad I left it a few days as well, but it was only officially announced today anyway. But having looked up and read and looked at other pieces and that, I'm not as concerned about that as I was. But initially you would be, and there might have been a few Waterford fans like that as well. But I have heard a few things in the grapevine that he's more than confident that he's going to win those battles. So that's something as well that maybe you have to remember as well. He could be completely innocent. But when you see that lined with Waterford new owners, you're going, oh no, not again.
Yeah, deja vu.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
But I suppose like that's what you're looking at with Waterford. You're looking at an owner coming in that obviously had stability at another club, successful at another club, steady growth at another club as well. So he hasn't gone in just throwing money everywhere at Fleetwood in particular. So it's a good model to look at. And he'll have people that work with him, obviously, that worked at Fleetwood, and there's some there named out earlier on and that. So I do think it's a good sign. Once they really realise, I think they may do as well, that and the fans realise actually that this isn't necessarily going to be an overnight success thing, but growth's all about growth, particularly in the League of Ireland. It really is all about growth and growing your team, your status, and not having maybe a year or two where you do well and then all of a sudden you drop back again. That's something Waterford can do without. Stability is a big thing, but it has to be good stability as well, because you can have bad stability in life as well. So I do think that's important. But I suppose before we go, Sean, I suppose your thoughts on Richard Forrest and his reign at the club generally.
Well, I think to be fair to him, he brought a lot of enthusiasm to the club. But maybe I thought he was in over his head. This was his first big gig running a club, and I think maybe he wasn't ready for all the challenges that came with it. I was disappointed he obviously didn't sort out behind the scenes problems that were plaguing the club, because they obviously came back to bite us and resulted in relegation. So I was disappointed with that. He did recruit quite well. Is the only thing I'd say. We still have players like Junior and Phoenix and players that are gone now. I don't know where Anthony Wordsworth is, but he was good for the half season we had him.
Another one.
Yeah, but it's hard to be too negative about him in general. I mean, there's obviously negatives you can point to, but in hindsight, we'll look back on it, and I think we'll remember nights like winning away to UCD in the cup and beating Finn Harps at home. We thought we were going to be safe and stuff like that. So it's a mixed bag, but I prefer to look at the positives with comes to first.
I suppose one of the positives as well is that he didn't hang on to the club and just nothing. He sold the club. He left the club. So that's positive as well. You know what I mean? Because that can happen sometimes.
Oh, it can, yeah.
And all that kind of thing as well. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing and an interesting story how it develops over time, Sean. So I'm sure a lot of people will be interested by it. The vibe I get from Waterford fans that they're mostly positive, to be fair, and you wouldn't blame Waterford fans to be a little bit suspicious of anything really at the club. And I've no doubt he'll have a look and see what's going on at the club behind the scenes. And I think it's important that kind of stuff is sorted out. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll leave it there, guys. Let us know what you think of the comments. If you're a Waterford fan, if you're not a Waterford fan, what do you think of the story? And thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit your bell notification button. Thank you. Cheers, Sean.
Cheers, Keith.